Moin! Welcome back to the channel. It's Mace, the best host on the West Coast, your simple, friendly, amateur neighborhood Canadian. Sitting here on Vancouver Island. Weather's not that great today. I need to go do some chores, man. I need to go do some chores. I'm gonna get in trouble when the wife gets home. That's what happens when you procrastinate. Procrastination is what it is. But we got a video for you. We are taking a look at the first car ever running the Benz Motorwagen. This would have been the invention and first vehicle from Karl and Bertha Benz. Look at it. It's beautiful. 1885, I guess, was when this was manufactured. And just look at it. It must have been a trip. It must have been a serious trip back in 1885 or whenever they unveiled this to the public. And they called them horseless carriages, right? Like they were oh yeah, I just got a new horseless carriage. When automobiles and things first came out, they also had like scooters and all sorts of cool stuff back in the late 19th century and into the beginning of the 20th century. Yeah, let's take a look at this. This is gonna start up and run, and then I'm gonna go through the Wikipedia page for this thing. I don't know if this is just like a recreation because those parts look pristine. And the way that this engine generates power, the flywheel and the stored energy. They ignite. There it goes. There it goes. Listen to that beautiful sound. Amazing. It's not that loud, actually. It must have been truly incredible in those times. And the weird thing is, as much as things have changed, there's always a similarity and a familiarity that we share with everybody throughout history. Like humans, as much as technology is developing, there's still certain core similarities that we share. And somebody in 1894 could be standing on the riverside fishing. This horseless carriage drives by on the road. They look back with their friends. Wow, that's a nice car. You could have the same scene in 2024. Some friends fishing on the river and see a brand new Benz going by. And I believe Bertha Benz was the first person to drive automobile over a long distance as well. Testing this thing out. Imagine 140 years of history. Kind of looks like something Doc Brown would invent when he gets trapped in 1885 in Back to the Future Part 3. come to think of it, they probably used a lot of they may have well looked at this as a reference for, some of his little inventions that he has in the movie. Cool. We didn't get to see it moving. That's how the engine works. Engines are fascinating as well to me. I should have paid more attention in shop class as a kid. But yeah, let's look at this. The Benz Patent-Motorwagen, patent motor car, built in 1885 by the German Karl Benz, is widely regarded as the first practical modern automobile, and was the first car put into production. It was patented and unveiled in 1886. The original cost of the vehicle in 1886 was 600 Imperial German marks, approximately $150 in 2023. 2 years after Karl Benz first drove the car in July 1886, Karl's wife Bertha demonstrated its feasibility in a trip from Mannheim to Pforzheim in August 1888, shortly before it became the first commercially available automobile in the history of the world in the late summer of 1888. Due to the creation of the Patent-Motorwagen, Karl Benz has been hailed as the father and inventor of the automobile development. After developing a successful gasoline-powered two-stroke piston engine in 1873, Benz focused on developing a motorized vehicle while maintaining a career as a designer and manufacturer of stationary engines and their associated parts. The Benz Patent-Motorwagen was a motor tricycle with a rear-mounted engine. The vehicle contained many new inventions. It was constructed of steel tubing with woodwork panels. The steel-spoked wheels and solid rubber tires were Benz's own design. Steering was by way of a toothed rack that pivoted the unsprung front wheel. Fully elliptical springs were used at the back, along with a beam axle and a chain drive on both sides. A simple belt system served as a single-speed transmission, varying torque between open disc and drive disc. The first motorwagon used the Benz 954cc single-cylinder four-stroke engine with trembler coil ignition. This new engine produced 500 watts at 250 RPMs in the Patent-Motorwagen, although later tests by the University of Mannheim showed it to be capable of 670 watts at 400 RPM. It was an extremely light engine for the time, weighing about 100 kilograms, although its open crankcase and drip oiling system would be alien to a modern mechanic. Its use of a pushrod-operated poppet valve for exhaust would be quite familiar. A large horizontal flywheel stabilized the single-cylinder engine's power output. An evaporative carburetor was controlled by a sleeve valve to regulate power and engine speed. The first model of the motorwagon had not been built with a carburetor, rather a basin of fuel-soaked fibers that supplied fuel to the cylinder by evaporation. The vehicle was awarded the German patent number 37435, which Karl Benz applied for on the 29th of January, 1886. Following official procedures, the date of the application became the patent date for the invention once the patent was granted, which occurred in November of that year. Benz unveiled his invention to the public on the 3rd of July, 1886, on the Ringstrasse in Mannheim. For the first time, Karl Benz publicly drove the car on July the 3rd, 1886, in Mannheim at a top speed of 16 kilometers an hour. Okay, Bertha Benz trip. Bertha Benz, Karl's wife, whose dowry was said to have made a portion of contribution to finance the development of the Patent-Motorwagen, was aware of the need for publicity. She took the Patent-Motorwagen number 3 and drove it on the long-distance internal combustion automobile road trip to demonstrate its feasibility. The trip occurred in early August 1888, when she took her sons Eugen, and Richard, 15 and 14 years old, respectively, on a ride from Mannheim through Heidelberg and Wiesloch to her maternal hometown of Pforzheim. In Germany, a parade of antique automobiles celebrates this historic trip of Bertha Benz every 2 years. On February 25th, 2008, the Bertha Benz Memorial Route following the route of Benz's journey was officially approved as a tourist or scenic route by the German authorities as a route of industrial heritage of mankind. The 194-kilometer of signposted route leads from Mannheim via Heidelberg to Forchheim, the Black Forest, and back. The car can be driven in Gran Turismo 4. Well, that's cool. And, yeah, there she is. Beautiful. Oh, there's a whole page. Oh, I'd like to read. We'll read more about Bertha Benz another day. All right. Very, very cool stuff. I like it. I love history. Auf Wiedersehen. Bye-bye. Tschüss.